I bet you weren't expecting to get your heart rate up in this workshop, but I hope you feel more energized and flexible after having gotten the opportunity to move your body. So now let's move on to the final category that we'll be covering in this workshop, which is sleep. So sleep is vital to maintaining proper health, and it may be the most productive thing that you do all day. Isn't that awesome? I know I love sleep. So sleep is the time when our body resets and detoxifies. So it's like hitting a reset button on our mind and our bodies from everything that happened throughout the day. It is also important for maintaining a proper circadian rhythm. So our circadian rhythm is our body's internal clock, which is vital to maintain a normal circadian rhythm so our bodies can perform its basic duties and functions. And so when we go to sleep, we actually go through multiple cycles of different phases of sleep. So every night we go through 3 phases of sleep, which is light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. And we go through multiple cycles of these 3 phases. So while our bodies are fast asleep, our minds are still hard at work. And so this is vital for restoring our mental health and our physical health. So now let's go into each of the 3 phases of the sleep cycles. So let's start with the first phase of the cycle, which is deep sleep. So this is where our memory consolidation happens. So it's when we take our short-term memories and store them away into long-term memories, like cleaning out your garage and moving all the things into different boxes and putting them away in storage. And so this is very important because it's when our short-term memories become long-term memories. So have you ever noticed a time when you may have crammed for a test or a presentation and learned it all the night before and didn't get any sleep, and then by the next week you had forgotten everything that you learned? Well, this is because your brain didn't have a chance to actually retain and store this information properly. And so sleep is important for remembering things. And then the next step in the sleep cycle is light sleep. And so this is when our minds clear out all of the clutter. So it's like sweeping out the floors of the garage of all of the dust bunnies and all the things that don't serve us every day. So this is also a symptom that you may have noticed of lack of sleep, where the next day you're just not able to retain any information. People might be talking to you and you just don't have any more room in your brain for new information. And this is because your brain did not have a chance to clear up space for that new information. So it's important to get sleep so that you can make space for learning new things. And then finally, there's REM sleep, which is possibly the most interesting of the sleep cycles. So REM stands for rapid eye movement. And so you may have seen or noticed someone sleeping before and their eyes behind their eyelids start flickering back and forth really fast. It almost looks like they're possessed. Well, this is actually normal, so don't be afraid. This is called REM sleep. And so while our bodies are asleep, our minds are hard at work. So this is when our brains connect different pieces of information. So this is when we make sense of all the information that we learn throughout the day and try and make connections and draw new extrapolations from that information. So this is also when our brains are allowed to be creative, because it has a moment to take a pause from incoming information and look at new information from different angles. So have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and had like a creative breakthrough or an idea that you'd never had before? Well, this actually occurs during our REM sleep because of these new connections of information that our brains haven't seen before. And finally, our dreams during our REM cycle are very important. They actually serve as a therapeutic relief. So this is when our brains can actually process and relive moments of our past and draw new connections from those moments in order to move on and not have such an emotional charge associated with those events of our past. So sleep is very important for therapeutic effects as well. And so in the next video, we're going to go into techniques and ways that you can improve upon your sleep.